We're going to talk about a potential stock market crash, but is this bullish for Bitcoin, gold, and other commodities? So welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like and comment. Also follow me on socials up in the links above. Now, let's talk about a few things. I've got a few things to get through today. Okay, this could be fun. We're going to talk about bubbles. We're going to talk about the reasons why this potentially could crash. We've got to talk about, is Bitcoin bullish due to this? Quantum easing. Wow, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, first things first, right now, as it stands, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, they're all at relatively high levels. It's kind of obvious, right? Realistically, it's obvious. NASDAQ, all-time highs. S&P's testing the top again. Yeah, banter, as I like to call it. So, but is it actually... let's just talk about this first. So, valuations are high. First thing I've already spoke about. The massive industry, which is the technology industry, is massively inflated, and it's bringing up a lot of the indices and index funds due to its results, due to the fact of more people using the likes of Zoom, more people using, you said, computers, your companies, people spending more time on these little things. You know, it's increasing the demand and the use case of social media technology being bought at home. Problems that we've got is they're majorly up right now. Majorly up, like overvalued to a point now where thinking, fuck, this could correct hard. If it does correct hard, it could be very, very interesting. So that's rule number one. Things are overvalued right now. Okay, that's sentiment is obvious. Moving on to sentiment though, bullish. People are jumping into the market willy-nilly thinking that they're going to win in the stock market, which does make sense because obviously the prices are going up. And we're going to come on to Bitcoin in a second in terms of where this mentality comes from. The market psychology of your brain is, oh shit, let's just buy into that when it's high. No one ever looks at the likes of companies and stocks before things happen. It's always when things moon. You know, obviously early investors would have got into the likes of Zoom, would have got into the likes of Microsoft, into Tesla, into the world of Amazon years and years ago, right? But new people who can easily just go and download Trading 212 or they can download whatever the hell they want and just go, whoo, boom. And then 3 months later, they made a load of money. But they're now like into that investment world where they've never experienced a bit of a correction there, where things could get really interesting, panic setters, weak hands. So the market is obviously bullish, not very good in some ways. Obviously here, Dave Pomponey, the founder of Barstool Sports, recently claimed he's a better investor than Warren Buffett. I'm a better investor than he is, that's a fact. You know, there's no way I can lose right now. I'm feeling invincible. This is where rug pulls come, but it's a very, very bullish case in my opinion for Bitcoin as well in some ways, but we'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, economic conditions. We're going to talk about this mainly next, right? Economic conditions, which is going to lead on to, obviously, you know, the quantitative easing and all kinds of stuff like that, where we've got money pumping into the market. So, economic conditions, we've got obviously, you know, expect GDP fall 10% in this year. Yeah, absolute funny games. But bubbles, let's talk about this briefly. You got displacement, you've got the boom cycle, you've got the euphoria, which is where we're at. We've obviously got profit taking. Now I've seen, you've probably already noticed as well, if you follow gold and silver has rallied recently. So has Bitcoin. Are people putting their profits into gold, silver, Bitcoin, other little precious things? Now, does this make a case for Bitcoin being bullish? Now I want to talk about a few things now. Profit taking, it happens. We've not fully had that yet. Does this mean that gold's going to rocket? Probably. Does this mean Bitcoin's going to rocket? I think so. Putting it out there. I do think that we are in that kind of area now where if people take Bitcoin seriously and they've got some spare equity that they want to put as profit from these massive rallies into somewhere, even if that is a 5 or 10% of their asset worth into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, into the crypto market for further gains, or even to spot an opportunity that this is still relatively undervalued for the long term, well, we're going to fucking go like that, aren't we? We are. We know we are. So that's a very, very bullish case in my opinion. Then you got panic. Panic stage is obviously where the correction's here and people, the weak hands and new investors who are bought into all these apps and going, "Ooh, let's just buy into this. Why not? You know, college money, simulars, fucking job seekers allowance, whatever. Ooh, we don't need it. Fuck off. Bang." That could happen. So moving on to quantitative easing. If you've never heard of this before, this is the shitty world of fake money injection into the economy to keep things stable and going up. You know, money is either physical, banknotes, or digital. Like the money in your bank, quantitative easing involves us creating digital money. So it's all utter nonsense, essentially, just numbers on your screen. We've known that for years anyway, that's obvious. So we then use it to buy things like government debt in the form of bonds. You may also hear called QE or asset purchasing. Ooh, so it's basically the new money coming into the market. So essentially it's been used, it's designed to kind of keep things afloat, the world, the economy, all kinds of stuff. But I want to talk about this. In the UK right now, we have got this. We've got the Eat Out to Help Out scheme, right? Basically, you can go Monday to Friday, you go and eat at your favourite restaurant, you get half price. Cool, right? But it all comes out of this fund, this stimulus, this printer fucking all over the world, making money that we need to pay back at some point. This is ultimately doing one thing to the market. It's inflating it. It's going up to the fucking moon. Now, problems that we've got now, going back a slide, we've got this euphoria and then profit-taking phase. When that printer stops working, when unemployment and all that kind of horrible nastiness does hit, what about a second wave in COVID-19? If there's a second wave in COVID-19 and it's fully confirmed, can we lock down again? Probably not. What will happen? More money is going to be printed out, more inflation in the stock market, then it's going to delay things a little bit more, but it's going to make things rally, and that's going to make investors in the likes of cryptocurrency that invest in the stock market do incredibly well. But I want to mention something as well. If you know what you're doing and you can spot the signs on a higher time frame and you've never considered even doing certain things, you want to make a little bit of Bitcoin, there's a decent platform here. Check out this platform up here. I've just put a little link up there. It's called PrimeXBT. There's a link below, right? This here, I've mentioned this platform before. You can buy into indices, you can sell into indices as well, buy and short. So you've got the likes of the NASDAQ, you've got the Dow Jones, you've got the S&P 500, you've got the UK FTSE, you've also got oil, gold, all kinds of other stuff, right? You can use Bitcoin on this. I don't have much in here. I've not used it for a long time. I'm going to load up very, very soon. There's always going to be opportunities when you start seeing profit taking and panic zones. This doesn't mean that you have to go and spend loads of money on a broker. You can just literally put some Bitcoin in there, limited amount of risk, and just press the short button and see what happens. Because as long as you've got a good risk appetite, as long as you know where the levels are and stop losses, you'll be fine. But ultimately, too many people are opening brokers or accounts trying to trade this sort of stuff without really understanding it, but getting stung by all the fees. The element of PrimeXBT, which makes it much better than going to a broker, is you've got no very big overnight costing fees, which is where the problems lie for like normal brokers. If you're looking to trade indices, there's a lot of money in indices if you know what you're doing. So if you want to learn, links up there as well. Learning crypto, you can learn about stock market patterns, you can learn about, it works in all markets, let's be honest, basic patterns. But what I'm seeing right now and what I'm thinking, if you're looking at the 4 hour time frame, this is obviously a resistance zone. This is where we've obviously bounced, we've recovered. The majority of that bounced pretty well, that's obvious, right? But when you start like looking back and peeling back the curtain a little bit more, and you start looking at where do we go, we could moon from here, like simple as that. We could go fucking parabolic titties, right? Absolute tits, boom. But there's only one thing stopping us, and that's that resistance level that we've got to get through. But as I say, if profit taking happens in the stock market and people start panicking a little bit, or they're moving their wealth into different areas, Bitcoin for example, gold, as I say, this could really go, because what's up here is quite thin. We've not been up in these ranges that much in its history. We've been up to 20k, it was brief, it was quick, it was boom, back down, off we go. There is a lot of price discovery missions of beyond this level. Once you get beyond here, we go to 14k. Once we go beyond 14k, pretty sure we're going to go to all-time high. That euphoric feeling will happen in Bitcoin. The stock market may go into a bit of a lull, but people might go, oh, Bitcoin, boom, make money quickly, easily. So that's all I want to say. I think, personal opinion, the stock market is going to correct. Now, when you look at the stock market, look at the NASDAQ, for example, right? That is just, it boggles my mind to see that so high. It's just crazy. If this corrects, where's the money going to go? Where's the profits going to go? Look at gold, all-time high, going crazy. Could go a lot higher. Look at the Dow Jones. We're recovered literally 78% of this entire COVID drop. You got to look at the likes of the SPX as well. We are getting very close to a full recovery, which, you know, in hindsight, what could happen here? We could have a W here. We could have a bang, and it could go all the way back down to the bottom area. Imagine if that happens. Whoo, nasty business. So be very, 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 very careful, in my opinion. But what I will say is this. If this does show a sign of weakness and it does come down, which it could do very, very easily, you know, especially if there's panic, especially the second wave, as I say, link below. If you want a bit of an opportunity to like just make a little bit of wonga, not financial advice obviously, do some research, do some little, you know, as long as you know what you're doing, you know, you can put $3 worth of Bitcoin on here and press a short button and actually be in a trade, which is absolutely crazy. In Bitcoin using, you know, obviously the NASDAQ, S&P 500 and all kinds of good stuff. It obviously has other stuff more than this, Bitcoin, Forex, etc. But you got to look at the bigger picture. What if this is not going to keep going up forever? No. But where will the money go? Bitcoin? Hope so.